Good morning. It's Tom Padula from TomPadulaTV on YouTube and Insegna Booksellers. And today is Sunday, the 7th of May, 2023. And we are up to program number 75 because this is a 1 hour on Facebook live with Tom Padula. And we are doing the Divina Commedia. I finished a while back the reading the Inferno and explaining it in English, wherever. It's a bit of a journey for me too, with this Dante's journey of the Divina Commedia. And I have actually finished also the reading of Purgatorio, the 33 canti of Purgatorio. And this one here is the third presentation, a comment by me about Purgatorio. Because when I finished one of the books, both with Inferno and Purgatorio and with Paradiso, I will do 5 or 6 extras relating to the overall feel of this canti within each book. So with Purgatorio, it's an interesting one because I didn't think, I thought, the most famous book of Dante is the Inferno, because, when people sin and are punished severely and they don't ask for forgiveness, they're really quite bad in themselves as people. There seems to be more interest in those people in a worldly sense. When we look at the news, for example, we get more of the negatives than the positives, generally. But last night there was a coronation of King Charles. I watched it up to the end. It was a bit long, of course. I don't know how they manage those people in those churches, holding on for so long. But anyway, the thing is that life moves on, both here on earth and in heaven, because in Purgatorio there is a sense of hope at the end of it all, that it is possible for a sinner to ask for forgiveness and be given it by the Lord. So in other words, when one sins, you can forget about the sin sort of thing, but you can't be totally pure unless you actually do some penitence. It's, you can't get away with it, sort of thing. So you have to balance the sin with the punishment. And then because you ask for forgiveness, then you are released into the life, both materially here on earth and in heaven, to what you're supposed to be doing in the first place. It's a bit like we talk about Adam and Eve. Well, Adam and Eve were given the Paradiso Terrestre, the terrestrial paradise. All they had to do is follow God's commands. But Eve was tempted. And as a result of that, Adam too was punished. So in other words, they lost the Paradiso Terrestre. They lost the ability to live in a proper way in God's view. However, after many centuries, the Son of God arrives on earth and says, I'm going to show you what it is like to maintain a good attitude. So he allowed his captors to give him to put him on the cross, and forgave them. And then the Holy Spirit, this is in the Christian tradition, of course, and that's where Dante picks up his inspiration. Welcome to Angela Email. Now, this morning, I've been thinking about this Purgatorio, And what does it mean, in fact, when we read it? So today I'm going to give a bit of an overview. The first two I was, not struggling, but I try my best. Then I try to find the best way to proceed with the study of Dante. And slowly, with these presentations, I do a beginning of it. I haven't finished with Dante. There's a lot more to be done. Once I get the 3 books over and done with, then I will approach Dante in a different way, I'm sure. There's nothing like building up a knowledge of whatever theme, whatever we attempt, and then we come back to it. We go back to it with greater knowledge, and therefore we can benefit from that. So even watching films, for example, you watch them the first time, second time, third time, you do a bit of study, and you get to the point where you do understand what the producers or the filmmaker or the writer, the author really wants to say. So it's 11:30. I haven't mentioned the fact that I will continue, of course, with my own Amica Poesia poems, a couple of them, and then I'll continue with Choral Improviso. That's the study of Italian songs, lyrics. Okay, it's 11:30, and I'm going to start now. This is an overview of Purgatorio. Now, Purgatorio is divided into 3 parts. The bottom part is Mount Purgatorio, have been designated as Anti-Purgatorio. Some people call it Anti-Purgatorio. And then Purgatorio proper is like a cone, a mountain, but the cone, the end part is points into the southern hemisphere, whereas Inferno was in the northern hemisphere. The bottom one, Purgatorio, points its end towards the southern hemisphere, and therefore Dante is able to see the stars, the southern hemisphere stars. Interesting, because at the time the church said that the earth was flat, and you weren't allowed to really think about the earth as being round. You would be punished in many ways. So that's where we're at now. What does this Purgatorio really mean? The 3 parts. You got the Anti-Purgatorio, and as described in the Inferno, the first 24 hours of Dante's journey took place on earth and started on the evening of Monday, Thursday, 24th of March or 7th of April, 1300. And the next full day, on Good Friday, was spent exploring the depths of hell with Virgil as guide. Dante and Virgil spent the next day ascending from hell to see the stars. They arrive at the shore of the mountain of Purgatorio, the only land in the southern hemisphere, at 6 a.m. on Easter Sunday, which is 6 p.m. on Sunday in Jerusalem. Since the 2 points are antipodal, Dante describes hell as existing underneath Jerusalem, having been created by the impact of Lucifer's fall. The mountain of Purgatorio was created by a displacement of rock caused by the same event. The Purgatorio picks up where the Inferno left off, describing Dante's 3 1/4 day trip up the mountain that ends with Dante's in the earthly paradise at the time of noon on Wednesday, March the 30th or April the 13th. Now, this is a description that I read, of course, online, and it's interesting to see that, how people, different scholars approach this great work of Dante. Now, one of the things that features in the Purgatorio is the fact that people pray because they're penitent. They're praying to eventually reach their hope into paradise, to go into paradise. So they ask for prayers. Not only are they praying themselves, they also ask for prayers from Dante from Dante, because he's going back to earth. So those people who sinned at the time, they're saying, look, tell our relatives and friends to pray for us, because that helps us in overcoming our sins, being purified of sin, in order to then enter paradise. Now, the anti-purgatorio, of course, is their sins, generic sins, sort of thing, not so strong, but they are, they are the beginning of the categories of sinners that are here on earth with all of us. And it applied to then as it applies now. They were late repentance. That's the way you could call them. And the last part is, of course, close to the beginning, just under Paradiso. So that's where we meet Statius and Beatrice. So Virgil's job of accompanying Dante through Inferno and through Purgatorio finishes around Canto 29, whatever, 30. And he then goes back to where he's supposed to be. And Dante proceeds ahead, firstly with Beatrice. Well, firstly he doesn't even see her, but he feels her presence. And eventually she's like a high priestess to him, even though he loved her when he was on earth. And remembers her as being of a very gentle nature. Whereas when then Beatrice is in the presence of God, she acquires that sense of justice that says, the sense that you can't, forgiveness, yes, but at a price. So that's the way it is. So that's that. Now, right at the beginning of Purgatorio, there is Cato, Catone in Italian, a Roman god who refused, a Roman general, or I'm not sure, a person who refused to follow Caesar's idea of empire, because he loved the republic, and he decided to kill himself rather than submit. But because he did it for a good cause, sort of thing, then God chose him to look after the doors of Purgatorio. It says, only let people pass through here who have asked for forgiveness. These are the people at the beginning of Purgatorio that are reminded to walk up to the mountain and don't waste time. Time is of the essence. You don't waste time. You keep on going. That's the idea. So often Dante wants to stop and talk, and Virgil reminds him that they are in a hurry. That there's only 24 hours in a day, sort of thing. So you can't stop and waste your time with people who technically don't deserve it. So you get the most out of it and go. A bit like our rulers. They haven't got time for everyone. But they will listen. With very direct requests or counsels. Now, there are some people who are late repentance, and there are some people who are negligent in the way they conduct their life. And these are, all these sins are out of love. but love is not always perfect. You can, love can manifest itself in many ways. We've got here a few people like Pia Tolomei of Siena, Sordello from Mantua. You get a few people, you get quite a few people who get mentioned in this canti. Very interesting life in themselves. Now, Dante, when they reach, when Dante and Virgil reach the bottom of the mountain, this is where I'm going to start now, and I'm going to finish off there with this particular presentation, and I'm going to go to Canto Decimo. Okay, so let's have a look. In Canto Decimo it says here, il purgatorio propriamente detto si divide in 3 sezioni. La prima comprende i primi 3 cerchi e i vizi che toccano più lo spirito, so the vise touch your spirit. La seconda il cerchio di mezzo o dell'amore, troppo lento al bene supremo. La terza i 3 cerchi supremi o i vizi più impigliati nella materia. So a bit of a description here in Italian. I principali strumenti della purgazione, of the penitence, una pena del senso ad ammenda del male diletto antico. So in other words, you get an appropriate punishment in purgatory as well, but there is, the soul is not really, they've got hope to reach paradise, so it's not that bad. And by praying and by getting prayers in your favor on earth, then the sin gets expiated and the soul is purified. So the intellect, our intellect, needs to become aware of why we have sinned and what is the harm of this sin. So once you sort of come to grips with this reality there, then that helps on the way, that helps the penitent get to the end of his particular journey. Now, to supervise all of these sinners, there are always angels around that make sure that the sinners follow the right path. A bit like, like with us on earth as well. We've got the government, and then there are people in charge of making sure that we follow the laws, the right laws. So basically, that's Decimo, the 10th canto. Now, in the 11th canto, we get alle anime oranti, the praying. Finita l'orazione domenicale, so like on a Sunday Mass, they were, singing the praises of God. Domanda Virgilio il miglior passo da salire al secondo girone, ed una risponde che andando con loro a man destra lo troveranno. So these souls always say, we're in a hurry, but if you follow us, we'll show you where the door is, where the entrance is. Intanto Umberto Aldo Brandeschi si dà a conoscere a Dante, il quale riconosce poi Oderisi, Miniatore che lo chiamava, friends of his from Florence. Questi gli parla della vanità della fama e gli dà contezza di Provenzano Salvani che gli è poco innanzi. So he meets a few people there and he says, well, fame is not the end all, it's not that good. because it's better to be in God's grace than just looking for fame on earth. È tutto passeggero. That's what he says there. So that's it there, and we get to the second part, the second girone. Lasciato Derisi e continuando il cammino per lo piano del cerchio, Dante vede disegnati sul pavimento molti esempi di punizione di superbi. So the pride is the first one of the 7 cardinal sins. Poi un angelo muove incontro ai poeti e gli guida alla scala per cui si sale al secondo ripiano. So they walk through the first part and the angel accompanies them, and col battere dell'ala cancella il primo P noto della superbia dalla fronte dell'Alighieri, per questo lui si sente più leggero nell'andare avanti. So in other words, he meets each one of the cardinal sins, Dante, and as he moves from one circle, one girone, to the next, an angel is there to welcome them and clear Dante's penitence, if you like, by just walking through those gironi. That's what he's done. Okay, in the terzo canto, giunto Dante sopra il secondo balzo, ove si purga il peccato dell'invidia. So here we go to envy, ok? Sente passare a volo voci di spiriti che eccitano a carità. So the envy, they ask for charity. Vede le anime degli invidiosi vestite di cilicio e gli occhi cuciti da un filo di ferro. Tra quelle qui gli si manifesta e raccomanda Sapia, donna sanese. So these are the ones who had their eyes closed and they couldn't see. And why? Because that's envy. Envy is a sin where you can't see the person who's envy of you or of me. The envy is blind. You can't see it, but it's there. And it happens even within families, between siblings. It's a tough one, this one, because, envy, you just don't see it at all. So that's envy, pride and envy, okay? Now this canto 14 parla Dante con altre anime del secondo girone, richiesto da Renieri da Calvoli di dove egli venga, risponde circoscrivendo Arno e dal tacerne il nome, come di cosa orribile. Guido del Duco prende a picco ad inveire contro la città di Toscana che bagna quel fiume. Lamenta poi il tralignare delle generose schiatte di Romagna. Rimasti soli, i poeti procedono, odono voci ricordanti i castighi inflitti agli invidiosi. So again here we meet some people who are not happy with the way Florence's Firenze is going at the moment with all the sinners and the people who have envy and pride, no good at all. And that's what happens to them, is that they go through this, and eventually the two poets, Virgil and Dante, they continue in their walk, but they remember the pain of the pain inflicted on the people who suffered from envy on earth. And I'll go to the next one, and then I'll do some the English part. So, canto 15º, we go here. This particular notes that I'm reading now, are from old Italian books here, and some of the language is, not modern Italian, but it doesn't matter. We just get the idea that we want to study Dante's Purgatorio, and 2 days ago, I was at the Vati conference, Victorian Association of Teachers of Italian annual conference, where there were 230 teachers or 200 teachers of Italian here in Victoria, here in Melbourne really, because there are a lot more right around Australia. And I saw some books about the Purgatorio, about Purgatorio for children. And I thought, gee, that's interesting. So maybe, Dante's now being appreciated at all levels, from primary school children to secondary to tertiary. And of course, each one of those people will take from the story a different take on it. Some people will be more in tune with what I'm doing now, and some people will be very simplified, which is okay too. So, sul principio della sera giungono I poeti al punto donde si sale al terzo girone. So the night comes and they can go to the third girone, they call it, circle, and night comes. And when night comes, you can't go up Purgatorio. You got to wait until daylight. So, nel salire Dante chiede a Virgilio che intendesse Guido del Duca per quelle parole e consorte di Vieto, e come Dante è schiarito del suo dubbio, si trova sul balzo, ivi tratto in una visione statica, vede alquanti esempi di mansuetudine e di misericordia. Risentito che fu, ecco, man mano farsi verso loro un fumo che indicava l'aria e toglie il vedere. So in this one here, you can't see, toglie il vedere, this thick smoke. What does it say here? I will have to have a look at it. Let's go now to what we've done. We've done pride, envy, and what's the next one? What is the next one? Maybe I'll get a bit of a hint from my helpers here. my helpers are very important. Oh well, never mind. Okay, so let's have a look. Okay, the 7 terraces of Purgatorio. After passing through the gate of Purgatory proper, Virgil guides the pilgrim Dante through the mountain 7 terraces. This corresponds to the 7 deadly sins, or 7 roots of sinfulness. Pride, envy, wrath, gli racconti, of course. Sloth, avarice, and prodigality, gluttony and lust. So after envy comes the people who are gli racconti, who suffer from anger. Okay, so that's Decimo Quinti. And I'll now go to the English. I'll go back a little bit and see what they say here. Here we go. Being admitted at the gate of Purgatory, our poets ascend a winding path up the rock till they reach an open and level space that extends each way round the mountain. On the side that rises, and which is of white marble, are seen artfully engraven many stories of humility, which whilst they are contemplating, there approach the souls of those who expiate the sin of pride and who are bent down beneath the weight of heavy stones. So the images show the various various examples of people who had asked for forgiveness in the past, and examples of extreme humility. And so the souls that were coming up with their stones on their shoulders, they couldn't see it properly, but they felt it. They felt this misericordia. Interesting. Okay, so that's that. Now this one here, Canto 11, after a prayer uttered by the spirits who were spoken of in the last canto, Virgil inquires the way upwards and is answered by one who declares himself to have been Umberto, son of the Count of Santa Fiore. Next, the poet distinguishes Oderigi, the illuminator, who discourses on the vanity of worldly fame and points out to him the soul of Provenzano Salvani. Okay, so that's that. Dante, being decided by Virgil to look down on the ground which they are treading, observes that it is wrought over with imagery exhibiting various instances of pride recorded in history and fable. They leave the first cornice and are ushered to the next by an angel who points out the way. They gain at the second cornice, or the circle, where the sin of envy is purged. And having proceeded a little to the right, they hear voices next that are to behold the shades or souls of the envious clad in sackcloth, and having their eyes sewed up with an iron thread. Amongst these, Dante finds appear a Sienese lady from whom he learns the cause of her being there. So they explain why they are there, these souls. Interesting one, 13 one. Now, in Canto 14, our poet on the second cornice finds also the souls of Guida del Duca of Brettinoro and Rinieri da Calbori of Romagna, the latter of whom, bearing that he comes from the banks of Arno, inveighs against the degeneracy of all those who dwell in the cities, visited by the stream, and the former in like manner against the inhabitants of Romagna. On living near, our poets hear voices recording noted instances of envy. So someone is saying these are examples of envy. These are the sins of envy. Canto 15. An angel invites them to ascend the next step. On their way, Dante suggests certain doubts which are resolved by Virgil. And when they reach the third cornice, where the sin of angel is purged, our poet, in a kind of waking dream, beholds remarkable instances of patience and soon after they are enveloped in a dense fog. So that's where we're going to stop now. For now, let's see what happens after this. Okay, now let me have a look where we are. Yes, we're almost there in terms of the explanation of the 7 cardinal sins and the way in which each one of those sins is punished. So we'll continue with Canto 16 next week and onwards, another 5 or 6 canti. I'll read both the Italian and English little summaries that are provided. Different books provided different sort of a take, and also online is the same. So really we need to do some study here in order to appreciate each canto fully. The authors of 700 years have been doing it. So it's not bad. Now let me show you I want to show you some of the pictures from Gustave Doré. Gustave Doré took inspiration from this canti here to show. Here we are. Okay, so I'll spend a bit of time, up to 15 I'll show you. Okay, so the first picture is this one here. See that? Oh, well, the sun is coming through the window, but that's the idea. There it is there. Oh, well, I can't. I've got to get it right. And I bet if I do this. Yes, that's much better. Okay. That's the first one. There's the second one, the flat part, and Purgatorio is in the distance. And there's Catona, the old Roman senator. Here we are, and the waters. They've got to cross the river. And then the angel appears and says, "Oh, come on, I'll take you there." And then, here we are. So how are you going to get up there? How are you going to get up there? Well, according to Gustave Doré, they've got to go up the mountain, see? That's how it is. And then they meet the first lot of people. "Hey guys, where's Purgatorio?" They're all sitting down. And of course, these are the first sinners that will show them the way. They're too much in a hurry to stay back. So this is Dante falling asleep. And then he's taken to the next Girona. Here it is. There you are. That's another one, meeting one of the people that Dante knew. And this one here. Prays to Dante, says, "Listen, guy, pray for me." There we are. This one here as well. All these pictures, they're available too. The books are available, but, they're expensive. And this is one of the angels. Now, Dante and Virgilio, they're admiring the sky, the night sky. There you are. They want to go to paradise. The next lot. And here we go. These are the souls that are carrying the stones. The punishment of pride. And this is the other lot. The ones that don't want to, you know, the envious ones. Here we are. More of them. Dante meets quite a few interesting people. There's another one here. I think that's the Racondi. I'm not sure. And this is the last one. So I will come back to these once you next week after I read cantos 16 onwards. Okay, so that's that. And now as I said, I've got the books about the Inferno and Purgatorio at Insegna, and you know, if somebody wants to do a study of this, after I finish, maybe you could have a class somewhere, or you can attempt to read it yourself and, you know, enjoy the journey as well. So, now we're going to go to Amica Poesia. But before that, I'm going to have a drink. Cheers. Okay. The first one from Amica Poesia, the first poem is called Katie and David. It's about, you know, it's about the seaside, what happens there. I'll read you the Italian first. C'è Katie che dà la pastina a David, il suo piccolino, che ha soltanto 5 mesi, dove, sotto l'ombra di un albero marino, su un monticello di sabbia, e la gente si gode la natura estiva, mentre il sole imbianca il cielo azzurro, e le nuvole, sparse qua e là, fanno ombra al cielo lassù. Ecco i gabbiani che si avvicinano all'odore del mangiare del piccolino, sempre avidi e pronti per un morso, per acchiappare quel pezzettino anche dalla bocca di un bambino. They're cruel. I've seen that, where a bird comes down and picks up the food and runs away. Ogni essere ha la sua natura e la natura provvede per tutti, mentre David mangia la sua pastina sotto quell'albero marino che fa ombra in questa mattina quando la mamma provvede sotto il sole per il suo piccino. So let's have a look in English. There is Katie who is giving the small pasta dinner to David, her little one, who is only 5 months old, way under the shadow of a marine tree on the small mound of sand. And the people are enjoying the summer nature whilst the sun whitens the blue sky and the clouds. Scattered here and there, they are making shadows to the sky up there. Here are the seagulls which are coming near the smell of the little one's dinner. Here are the seagulls which are coming near the smell of the little one's dinner, always greedy and ready for a morsel, to catch a little piece even from the mouth of a baby. Every being has in its nature, and nature provides for everyone, whilst David is eating for the pastina under the marina tree, which gives shade this morning when mother provides under the sun for her baby. That's it for that one there. The next one is called the Riposo. Si frangono le onde ad una sul litorale roccioso d'un quartiere. Il sole cocente annega tutto, la gente avida ingoia i suoi raggi. Sono ricchi gli uomini terreni nel gioire del bel giorno dell'estate. Gli uccelli marini svolazzano contenti sul formicaio che si riposa. Passano i minuti, passano le ore sul piccino che felice si tuffa nel lago marino che ha creato. Una vecchia anch'essa sorride, la solitudine non fa per lei. Passano i minuti, passano le ore sul piccino che felice si tuffa nel lago marino che ha creato. Una vecchia anch'essa sorride, la solitudine non fa per lei, sta sotto il sole con tutta la gente e sorride al futuro pensando alla bambina d'alci tempi. It's a nice one. Here is the English one, the English version. Waves crash one by one on a suburb's rocky coastline. The scorching sun drowns everything, swallowing its rays so avidly, and the people on the burning sand. I'm looking at the pictures here. Okay, I'll read it again. Waves crash one by one on a suburb's rocky coastline. The scorching sun drowns everything, swallowing its rays avidly, are the people on the burning sand. Rich are the humans, for they are enjoying a beautiful summer's day. Seabirds hover happily over the resting crowd. Minutes go by as do the hours, for the child who's happily diving in the marine lake which he has created. An old woman is also happy. Solitude is not her lot. She's under the sun with all the people. And whilst thinking of herself as the little girl she knew, she smiles at the future once again. So summer is always a very positive for people. Go to the beach and enjoy the day's sunshine. Okay, so that's that for this week. Two poems from me, and now I'll go to the music, but and then we'll discuss a few other things as well. So let me go to where I normally return to. Here we go. I have to open up. Here we are. And as I said, things have improved over time, and now I'm going to show you, we're going to do what we're going to do with the music. Coro all'improvviso. Now, I want to discuss this coro all'improvviso situation. Come on. Are we? Oh, here we are. What's going on here? There we are. Okay. Let's go. Let's go. Hoopla. I've done it again. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. Oh, geez. How do I get into this always the same thing? For me, I've just went out. I had everything ready, and I just went out with my computer here. Well, we'll see what happens now. Okay. Where are we going? Where are we going? Here. La 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 la. All right. Okay. I don't believe this. Concetto della Salanda, ciao! Sto avendo problemi con il computer. Cosa ci posso fare? È sempre la stessa cosa con me. Ok. Dovete avere pazienza con me oggi perché sto avendo dei problemi con non col computer, con il mio uso del computer. Ecco qua, vediamo un po'. Bravo Tom, adesso ci siamo. Arriviamo fra poco. Ok, here we go. È incredibile. Come faccio ad andare avanti in questo modo? Io non lo so. Forse la pazienza è importante. La pazienza è importante. Ok. Opla. Ok, come on. E come mai questo qua? Yeah. Ok. Ci sono quasi arrivato, un po' di pazienza in più e ci arriviamo. Questi computers, incredibile. All right. Come on. No, 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 back. Mi dispiace, stamattina proprio sto avendo questi problemi, non so perché. Non so perché. Non mi ricordo adesso quando l'ho fatto. Oh, mamma mia. I might have to stop today. Sto avendo problemi assai, non poco. Come si fa qua per portarlo dall'altra parte? Non so, oggi sto avendo problemi e quindi mi dovete scusare, ma cosa ci posso fare? Con queste cose qui a volte avevo tutto in ordine prima di cominciare e poi... No, this is unbelievable. Vediamo un po' se ce la faccio, Ce l'ho qua sul piccolo computer. Eccolo qua. Ecco qua. Yes. Allora, il mio numero è 31310. 31. Ecco qua, ce l'ho fatta, però è sul piccolo computer. We're going to the second set of all'improvviso number 10. And we start with Vorria. Aurelio Fiero made it his own. He's such a wonderful singer of the 1950s. We have to look up the words of his life story, and then we know who this person is. Aurelio Fiero, a very big name in Neapolitan music. Okay, Vorria is coming up. Here we go. Here we go with Vorria. Okay. Dinta una stanzuella fredda e scura, ad una volta in pietra seguo solo, mo sto sola e tengo una paura, che a poco me consumo ancora. Paura che mi strui sta malattia, senza vedere più Napoli, senza vedere più a te. Vorrei tornare da te, e non sola, Napoli mia, che ti senti cantare con mille mandoline. Vorrei tornare da te come una volta, amore mio, per te potrei passare, per me senti abbracciare, sta frega che non me lascia mai, sta frega non me fa più campare. Vorrei tornare da te, per un'ora sola, Napoli mia. Vorrei, ma sto in croce. Stanotte dico suona si tornata, ma accarezzavo il piano sta ferita. Oggi ho sentito mille serenate, oggi sono venuto a Napoli addormuta, e mezzo a tanta nebbia sono caduta, senza vedere più a Napoli, senza vedere più a te. Vorrei tornare da te, per un'ora sola, Napoli mia, e te senti a cantare con mille mandoline. Vorrei tornare da te, come una volta, amore mio, e te poteva passare, per me senti abbracciare, sta frega che non me lascia mai, sta frega non me fa più campare. Vorrei tornare da te, per un'ora sola, Napoli mia. Vorrei, ma sto in croce, Napoli mia. So I was able to fix it all up. To the next one there. What it is, there's a screen here. You have to shift the image from one to the other, and obviously I've forgotten this morning for some reason. But here's the next one. Here we go. The next song, this is the second song of the second set, and we got to Salvatore Adamo with La Notte, something different from the Neapolitan genre and the Roman ones. Okay, so here we go in a few seconds. In a few seconds is the word. Okay, here we go. Rina, okay. Se il giorno posso non pensarti, la notte maledico te, e quando infine spunta l'alba, c'è solo un vuoto intorno a me. La notte tu mi appari immensa, invano tento di afferrarti, ma ti diverti a tormentarmi. La notte tu mi fai impazzire, la notte mi fai impazzire, mi fai impazzire, e la tua voce fende il buio, dove cercarti non lo so. Ti vedo e torno la speranza, ti voglio tanto bene ancora. Per un istante riappari, mi chiami e mi tendi le mani, ma il mio sangue si fa ghiaccio quando ridendo ti allontani. La notte mi fa impazzire, mi fa impazzire, il giorno spende in piena pace e la tua immagine scompare. Felice tu ritrovi l'altro, quell'altro che mi fa impazzire. La notte mi fa impazzire, mi fa impazzire, mi fa impazzire. Salvatore Adamo, perdonaci, ci vuole un po' più di lavoro. But we've done the work. I thought I had finished there because some of the songs are difficult, even for the musician, because Dora is not used to them. But the idea of choral improviso is to encourage people to learn the lyrics of the songs. Because I notice when, I go dancing, that some people know the songs quite well, but only portions of it. So we need to actually study the song and learn them off by heart. Now, I have choral improviso sessions now every 2 weeks, every second week, with Teresa Alto Italia there at Federazione Lucana every second Wednesday. Now, I think last week we did it, so this week we'll miss out, and then the week after we'll have it again. And also the last Sunday of each month between 3:30 and 5, I have my session at Federazione Lucana. So both activities are there at Federazione Lucana. The Wednesday one is from 3 o'clock till 4:30, because they open up about 12 and finish off around that time. So, and we have the use of the hall, and we can sing along. So, if you're interested in singing, participating in choral improviso, and as somebody said, da cosa nasce cosa, il tempo la governa. But there is possibility to do maybe even a little bit of theatre, as time goes on. We'll see what happens. Okay, so the next song now is the next one that I'm going to show you. And it's called Come le Viole. Okay, so let me talk about it first. Here we are. We've come to the last song of the afternoon, and it's going to be Come le Viole. Peppino Gagliardi made it famous in 1972. It's a beautiful song, and we're going to try it out, even though it's a bit difficult, really. All of these songs that we've done today are quite difficult. But anyway, Come le Viole is coming up. Okay, it's coming up, and here it is. Come le viole. Son tornate le viole laggiù, ma non hanno calore per me, quella calda tenerezza che tu portavi nei tuoi occhi, non c'è più. Come le viole anche tu ritornerai, la primavera con te riporterai. Avevi la mia vita fra le tue braccia, te ne sei andata, non so, te ne sei andata con chi? Dai sogni miei, forse domani chissà tu piangerai, quando il mio amore lo so tu capirai. rifioriranno tante primavere, come le viole anche tu ritornerai, rifioriranno tante primavere, come le viole anche tu ritornerai, rifioriranno tante primavere, come le viole anche tu ritornerai. Oh, well, there was a bit of a lament there, but you know, this work here is important, even though, you know, it's educational in nature, and the entertainment part, it's there. Sometimes we miss it, sometimes we get it, and it's, you know, it's something that needs to be understood. But the reality is that we need to ourselves, to keep our spirits alive, we need to do activities, and the singing part is one of the various activities that we can do in our third age. You know, been concentrating lately. You know, I've reached the third age myself, and therefore, you know, I've done what I need to do to keep mind and body alive and with a good spirit and a good attitude. I want to thank you, Concetta della Salandra, for coming on today, and Angela Imola, and you know, there are other people who do this during the week, and I will announcing now that I'll only do another couple of these Sundays at this particular time, because I've committed to it. But once I get, I have 2 or 3 more podcasts for French and Spanish, and the series 1 will be finished there too. And with Paradiso, with the reading of Paradiso, I will do it in my own time, maybe even on a Sunday at this time. But I want to have more freedom in terms of when I come on live on Facebook. In the meantime, though, you can always look up Insegna.com and go to the blog section where these particular podcasts are available, and also on YouTube. TomPadulaTV on YouTube will also give you some of these. Well, will give you all the ones that I have done so far, about 250 of them in a year and a half, 2 years. We are also including there in the blog section and in YouTube also my other series on different topics and themes. So I encourage people to come on to TomPadula on Facebook whenever you can, you know, once a day, every couple of days, because there will be new material every time. And I'm making little films now, so I want to move on to the next stage of my work. Okay, thank you very much for coming again today. Grazie mille. Ci rivediamo la prossima volta. This is Tom Padula from TomPadulaTV on YouTube and Insegna Booksellers. Ciao.